what's up guys, this is Deathfire giving you a pretty much a album review and everything like that. I know that it's a little blurry, but hey, and I got me a paper list and everything like that so I can actually do this, and cause I just got done listening to Linkin Park's album. Wasn't very good. The album is called One More Light. Here's the actual cover for it. Yeah. Now, when I learned this album coming out, I was quite excited because I thought it was gonna be like a metal or rock type album. But apparently, they decided to go to a different way, and let's just say this: it wasn't as good as it wasn't good as anybody would have hoped. Truth be told, but here's a lot of my thoughts. Now, I written down because for one, it's the albums are not even worth remembering. Honestly, I technically got it yesterday, so here it goes. Well, the first song was called "Nobody Can Save Me." Truth be told, honestly, I can say that after this song, pretty much nobody could save him because it started a little slow, but it picked up. But pretty much it was boring. I mean, seriously, it's a song that you will only hear once. That song, I gave it like a 2 out of 5. It wasn't that good, honestly. The second song was Good Goodbye, which is a kind of a tongue twister if you say it really fast. If you say this song really fast, it's a tongue twister. I mean, Good Goodbye, and I'm like, okay, what the hell did you say? Now, it started off odd, but it was more like a hip hop to it than anything else. And it was not good at all. I mean, seriously, Mike Schroeder, he really did drop the ball when it came to this song. It was not a good song. Just it was playing off. I gave that song like a 1.5 out of 5. Yeah, it wasn't that good. Then it was Talking to Myself, which it it was a little calm when it started off. It was calm. Then it got to a heavier beat, but just missed the mark when it comes to the singing. It just missed the mark. The beat was okay. It's just that the singing was just no, just wasn't good. I gave that song like a 2.1 out of 5. I mean, it was. I mean, if it was just a beat and they would have did this as an pretty much just a pretty much just an instrumental type thing, then I would have been okay with that. Now, this song, on the other hand, was one of the singles known as Symphony. Started upbeat, then it got slower. It was just boring, honestly. This is one of the songs that were boring. Now, I know Good Goodbye was a single as well, but this was one of the early singles. Battle Symphony was an early single, and it missed the mark because it was just plain boring, honestly. A lot of the songs were a little boring. I gave Battle Symphony a 1.8 out of 5. Then there was Invisible. Now, Invisible technically was a single as well. Started off slow, and it stayed that way, but wasn't good. It literally was not good. It kind of sounds like something that you would hear from Minutes to Midnight, honestly. When it came to Minutes to Midnight, this is something that you would actually think of. Because Minutes to Midnight, this is something that you would expect to be in probably like a deluxe, like a limited edition or deluxe type thing. That's what it kind of sounded like. But honestly, it made no sense. But it was okay. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Then it was Heavy. Now, Heavy, everybody heard about it. Pretty much, it was one of the singles that I talked about before. But I considered it, and I don't really need to explain it anymore. I would probably just give that song a 2.5 out of 5. Then it was another song, the 7th track, known as Sorry for Now. Oh yeah, the 5th song was known as Invisible, which I think everybody knew about that one. 6th song was Heavy, and now the 7th song, that was known as Sorry for Now. It started okay, but the electric sounds sound like they were misplaced. It didn't need it, because it started off good. It started off really good, but when it came to electric sound, that fucked the whole damn song up. That's what it came down to. I gave that song a 1.9 out of 5. Now, I know I'm reading pretty much my own writing. It's really hard sometimes, but when it comes to these songs, it was not worth remembering. truth be told, this is the one album that I would say I really would not really understand that much of it. It was not worth remembering. Then it was known as Halfway Right or Halfway Road, something like that. I'm not very sure. This song I would say is by far the only song I would give a good rating to because it sounded good. It was really quiet. It was really okay. It was good rhythm to it. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. That is the one song in my opinion was good. But then it went downhill when it came to their signature song, which the album came from, One More Light. This song was just sad. Yeah, it literally was really sad because I don't mean like a crying sad. It's just that it's sad that they made it because it was nothing. It was so awkward. Something that Linkin Park should have easily just said, no, we're not gonna put this in the album. They shouldn't even name the song after it, honestly. I gave that song a 0.9 out of 5. It was just not that good. And then there's the last song, which is Sharp Edge. That song was just plain stupid. It was. I don't even want to even explain it because truth be told, this song was. I don't even know why they even made the song. It sounded like a reject song. I gave that a 0.5 out of 5. Now that was all the actual songs that was actually on the actual album. Now when it comes to the review itself, I can admit Linkin Park did do something different. But it's like they say, just because something's different doesn't mean it's good. All it means is that it's different than how some people would do it or how they would do it. I would give this album, technically speaking, a 1.5 out of 5. And that's the goodest I can give it, because me being generous, I would say it's a 1.9 out of 5. Because during the ending, that's when it just got so bland. It was just so boring. They had tried to go into a different element and failed at it. Now I can understand they would have put this as their second album, then it would have been still would have been a little boring, but at least I would have gotten it. I mean, seriously. But they didn't do that. They wanted to put it out as, I believe, their 7th album, which made no sense. Wait a minute, let's see, it's Hypertherm, Manara, Mr. Midnight, Thousand Suns, Living Things, Honey Part. Yeah, this is their 7th album. And this was not something that I would listen to anymore. This was the first time me listening to this album, and it'll be the last time I listen to it. I mean, probably I may keep one song, but probably not. It just wasn't as interesting as I already knew it, for some apparent reason. I knew it wasn't gonna be interesting. Mainly because they pretty much gave me pretty much everything I needed. I mean, they had 4 promotion songs for this one album, and the album only had 10 tracks. So pretty much you're giving us almost half of the tracks on the whole entire album and hoping that we'll like it. And the thing is, you picked the songs that was just so soft, and I'm like, okay, I get it, because there's some songs on Linkin Park's album, pretty much on every Linkin Park's album, there's probably like one song out of the bunch that was very low key, except for the first album. That was pretty much heavy. Well, actually in the end was not a very heavy song. So I would say pretty much in every album they had at least one soft song. But in this one, it's like the whole entire album was just so soft. It's like they combined hip-hop, rock, and pop in the same thing, and it just didn't mix. They picked some of the people to influence them. They picked the people who, technically speaking, was not that. Pretty much, I don't even know who they are. So, but that's not really surprising. I'm not that much into pop music. I only got like 2 artists that are in that, and I only listen to, just that's how that is. Now, Heavy, on the other hand, I know I didn't do much on that one, but truth be told, it seems like Chester wasn't singing its full potential, but the girl was. She was singing loudly, she was singing upbeat, but Chester was like, he was singing really softly, like he was, saving his voice for something. Now I can understand if they would have brought this album out, the last being the last album that they ever would make, and say that this is our last album. Like, okay, there's some songs that you need to do a little bit more on, but it's okay with me. It's cool. It's fine. But when you bring out this, it's like you just brought out one of the biggest heaping of dumps on an album. Now, there may be some people who have just different opinions than me, and I accept everybody's opinion. But for me, I would say that this album just didn't hit the mark when it comes to me. I would say that when it comes to all the Linkin Park's albums, this will be the one album that I would not recommend anybody really getting unless they really like pop. I mean, hip hop, there's two songs with it, but although they can easily just ignore them because they sound a little bit like, kind of like you're actually kneeling and you're walking on hot coals on your knees. It just feels odd. It just doesn't feel right. But if they would have said that this is like our last song, then I'm like, okay, let's see how it sounds. And seeing as it sounds very soft, that means that Chester probably couldn't speak the way he wanted to speak because, well, if he's old and everything. But when it came to this album, I'm like, okay, the experiment didn't work. You guys have been experimenting for a long period of time, and now you. And I thought that the Honey Pot would be the last of their experiments, but I guess they still have a little bit left, and they want to do pop. And I'm like, okay, you guys just. Okay, let's hear what he had to do, but yet you kind of sucked at it. Because when I got the album, it said pop, and I'm like, yeah, that seems right because it wasn't uplifting. It wasn't upbeat at most points. It was like soft. Then the hip hop got in, and pretty much every single hip hop song, I would say it just didn't do it. It made it seem like Mike wasn't doing anything. It even didn't seem like Mr. Hans was even doing anything because I didn't really hear that much of an electrical type thing when it came to almost the whole entire album except for like two songs, and it seems like they were all misplaced. Every single one of the times that he actually put the electronic beat into it, it's like it was misplaced because it didn't seem like we needed it at that particular moment. It seems like the hip hop just couldn't get it in there. It didn't really do it. Well, you already heard my reviews on it, and well, hope that you guys liked the review, and I will see you guys with probably another review, but probably not in a while. I will see you guys another time. Peace out.